for another episode of the 194 of the Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo. Coming up good, coming up fine, coming up good, coming up fine now, coming up good, coming up fine now. What we gonna do? Gonna talk about a little bit of heavy metal news. Gonna talk a little bit about a heavy metal news. Gonna have a little fun with the heavy metal news. It's sadness in the heavy metal news. It's sadness in the heavy metal news. What we gonna do? Guess what we gonna do? Guess what we gonna do? We're gonna jive. I was trying to say, guess what we gonna do? Guess what we gonna do? Guess what we gonna do? We gonna dive. We gonna jive. I was trying to do that, but I didn't do it the way I wanted to. Welcome one and all back to another heavy metal news episode. It's about heavy metal news. It's what we get down to in this, but we also get down to other things like life and what's happening and such and stuff. Now, the first thing that I'd like to say is thank you for tuning into this episode, and please stick around for all of the heavy metal news that we have lined up for you. We're talking big business here, people. We're talking about big things. Of course, you see Brent Hinds there. He passed away tragically. We talked about Mastodon in the past. First thing I want to get to, there's two of you in the comments. Half of this podcast is dedicated to comments that you guys leave, and I read them for the following episode. Now, I know that there's more people that are probably going, yeah, I would like to have put in a comment, but I am doing the podcast a little bit earlier in the day, and I've told you, the reasons for that is because I got a rock band out in the garage now, and when they show up, it's over. So I'm getting on the Thursday recording of the podcast just a little bit earlier these days. So I wanted to put that out there. Welcome to this episode of Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo, a splendor of a podcast where I think we really get deep with some things. We got some stuff lined up here. Sebastain Bach has himself a fight going on with this guy named Ken Tamplin, I think. And he's one of them YouTube vocal guys, so we're going to get into that. Scott Travis, he's going to tell us the reason why the Ripper albums are not available on the streaming services for Judas Priest. And two members of Cradle of Filth have left the band in literally 24 hours, and perhaps they will dive a little deeper into what's going on with that. I don't know a whole lot about Cradle of Filth. I know the big songs that we've done with the Reaction Channel or whatever. But two of the members left, and they says, well, it's lousy pay, and it's bad management, and it's egos, and it's everything else, so we'll find out. But first up, I thank you, I love you, I appreciate you. If I could reach right through this camera and give you a big old kiss, with tongue, I would. But we're going to get into the sadness that is Brent Hinds, Mastodon guitar player, whom was fired from the band a scant few months earlier, has passed away in a motorcycle accident, I do believe. I wanted to get into that because guitarist that is still in Mastodon, Bill Kelleher, pays a tribute. And I did see Brand Daler. They were playing a show, and you can watch this on YouTube, in Alaska. And he got up in front of the audience, I guess, at the end of the show and just said, hey, man, you guys, thank you for this. And Brent's with us and in our hearts. And they didn't get along and stuff, but, Brent is no longer with Mastodon and no longer in this third dimension, the material, solid, physical form. He has just transitioned into the fourth. Let's get into it, and let's just do it right here, right now. I feel weird because I'm wearing the same shirt that I was wearing for my TikTok live that I'm doing now. I'm just sitting and listening to music, guys. I couldn't do the treadmill anymore. I did 8 miles on Monday, and my legs were killing me. My calf muscles still ache. So I decided, yeah. And you know what I said in one of those streams? I said, now you could watch someone sit down and play music, or you could watch me on the treadmill. And now I have to take all that back because you're going to watch me sit down and play. Any request that pops in on the TikTok live. So if you're there and do that. Mastodon guitarist Bill Kelleher has paid tribute to his bandmate Brent Hinds, who died last week after being injured in a motorcycle accident in Atlanta. He was 51 years young. That is 1 year younger than me. Earlier today, Monday, August 25th, Kelleher took to his Instagram. That's where I put my personal posts. You don't put it on that old ratty X or Twitter or whatever. No one if you ain't pissing and moaning about something on there. No, Instagram's where you go to put loving pictures and loving thoughts. It's been hard to get a grip on my emotions this week. We had our good and bad times just like any relationship. All that we accomplished after the first fist fight in the van 25 years ago. Did I read that wrong? We had our good and bad times just like in any relationship. All that we accomplished after the first fist fight in the van 25 years ago. I didn't think you'd be taken from us like this. Absolute loss of true one of a true one-of-a-kind guitar wizard extraordinaire. Keeping up with you taught me a lot. You were a brother. We were family. You were a wild man, not to be tamed. You could fuck up a bowling ball with a feather. I mean, that's kind of pretty, isn't it? That's kind of a thoughtful little thing. You weren't perfect, but you were always Dirty B. Your vagabond, gypsy, wild child lives on through your music. I will miss your crazy ass manimal. I don't know if I'm reading that bad or what, but I'm sure it's me, guys. I'm not going to blame this on Bill Kelleher. Okay? Hinds was reportedly riding a Harley Davidson. This is where myth and lore is made right here, my folks. A Harley Davidson motorcycle late Wednesday, August 20th, when he collided with an SUV at the intersection of Memorial Drive SE and Boulevard SE. Now, how do you know where the hell that's at? You have to know where Memorial and Boulevards are. Southeast. Less than 2 miles from downtown Atlanta, according to the Atlanta police. Brent was found unresponsive by officers who responded to the crash around 11:35 and was pronounced dead at the scene by the emergency medical workers. Police said a woman driving a BMW SUV was making a left turn when she failed to yield and struck the motorcycle. That's got to be something that sticks in your brain. That's a lot of work you're putting yourself through to get through something like that, which was headed west on Boulevard. The woman remained at the scene and spoke with the investigator. And here we go. This may be from the Alaska event here. It says, Mastodon drummer, vocalist Brand Ayler paid tribute to Hinds at the end of the band's August 22nd concert at the Alaska State Fair. Boy, that's a cold son of a bitch to go to. An Alaska State Fair. When is it shorts weather in Alaska? Never. Are you wearing a coat on stage? As part of the ConocoPhillips Alaskan Concert Series, brought to you by Big Oil. Alaskan Concert Series at the Borealis Theater in Palmer, Alaska. Daler stepped out up to the front of the stage and told the crowd, and he did have some tenderness in his voice, guys, but I'm not going to do that. He says, we lost somebody very special to us yesterday. Brent Hinds, 25 years with us, our guitar player. One of the most creative, beautiful people that we've ever come across in the world. Tragically left us. Very, very unfortunate. We loved him so very much. And we had our ups and downs of the 25-year relationship. You know what I mean? It's not always perfect. It's not always amazing. But we were brothers to the end. And we really loved each other, and we made a lot of very beautiful music together. And they did. And I think that throws me for a loop every time. That and that's. And I think that that's going to stand the test of time. Evidence by you people here in the audience tonight. Freezing to death. So we will continue to play Brent's beautiful, beautiful music that he helped us make, that we formed this band together and traveled the world together, slept in a van together, laid our heads down on beds of fucking kitty litter, got way too drunk to remember anything the next day about 1,000 million times over and over again, with the love that we shared in the beauty. This is all off the cuff on the microphone. So he's an eloquent man. All the audience that we played for all the stages we stepped upon. I don't know where we're just at a loss for words. We're absolutely devastated and crushed to lose him and to be able to never have him back again. But you guys made it okay for us to come on stage and do this. So that was for fucking Brent, okay? Can I have... Thank you guys so much. We will see you real soon, okay? We'll see you real soon, okay, guys? Thank you for all of this. I'm going to give you guys some fucking pieces of wood, okay? We love you. He had drumsticks in his hand, and he says, I'm going to give you some pieces of wood now. I'll give you a couple of you pieces of wood back there in the tour bus. Thank you, Alaska, for having us. It's the 50th state for us to cross off our bucket list. So thank you for the amazing milestone, and thank you for helping us get through that one. It was fucking tough for us, but you guys are fucking amazing. So thank you, thank you, thank you once again. Now let's get to giving some wood. Beautiful. Brent Hinds, that man right there. Now, I don't know where they're at. He was a madman. They called him that. Mad Brent. B-Man. Dirty B. Dirty B Hinds. But I got to see him. I was lucky enough to see Mastodon live, and I was very happy to see that. And they sounded just simply amazing. How are you guys doing? You doing okay? I know there's two of you over there in the comments, and I know that, you know... But I'm just letting you guys know now that I'm doing it a little bit earlier. Let's get into Cradle of Filth. This little vampire fella over here, I mean, he's just the damn devil, isn't he? You are just the dang devil there, mister. Maybe he's right here above me. You're the damn devil. Okay? Even when you're dressed up like that. Two members of this band they're on a Latin American tour right now in Cradle of Filth, and Ashkoff is the second. His wife, Zoe, has left, and now they've got a replacement, whatever. But we're going to get into it and find out what's going on. I think to be true that Dani Filth is technically the only person that's still an original member of what was once Cradle of Filth. Cradle of Filth heads can get down there and explain it to me. Cradle of Filth fires guitarist Ashok, effective immediately. American tour, a Latin American tour to continue. Cradle of Filth has fired guitarist Marek Ashok Smirda just hours after the Czech-born musician revealed he was planning to leave the band at the end of the band's ongoing Latin American tour. That's what you do. Dani says, well, if you're planning to leave at the end of it, why don't you just leave now? Right? Earlier today, Tuesday, August 26th, Cradle of Filth frontman Dani the Filth Man Filth released the following statement via the band's social media. It is with a grave heart that Cradle of Filth officially announced the firing of guitarist Marek Ashok Smirda from the band. Effective immediately. Despite all attempts to illegally defame and derail the band, Cradle of Filth will not cancel any of our South American shows, though fans will have to bear with us, being a band with only one guitarist live. That is, of course, until Ashok's temporary replacement is flown out. How quick are you getting him out? Is it on econo flights? He must be flown out to join the tour in a few days' time. Thank you for your consideration, your understanding in this horrible matter, and it's his fault. We are all in a state of shock over proceedings, and we'll share our side of these unfortunate events in due course. Please respect our decision to part with Ashok now rather than at the end of a tour, avoiding speculation as more clarity on the situation will be provided. Oh, what's he say? He says, the rest of the band are cool, even if taken aback
and accusations toward management, who work very closely with me, and the band are completely unjust and unfounded. Patience is a virtue, and the truth will always out.
Boy, that's good. And he's even your friend Dani down here.
Thank you once again, fellow filthlings. And we look forward to the rest of the Screaming of the Americas tour here in Uruguay and beyond. Your friend, Dani.
No one signs off on an Instagram post anymore like that, right? Your friend Dani. He's peppering him up. He's saying, see, your friend.
I'm not no bad guy. I'm your friend, Dani.
Ashok's announcement that he would depart Cradle of Filth just came days after his betrothed, his beloved, whom he shared the rock stage with, Zoe M. Fedorov, left the group mid-tour after serving as Cradle of Filth's female vocalist and keyboardist for the past 3 years. Earlier today, Smirda released the following message via his social media. Dear fans and friends, and I can say friends too, not just Dani, I ask you to please respect my wife and myself in this transitional period. I am indeed leaving Cradle of Filth at the end of this current tour, and the reason behind this are conclusions my wife and I came to together, laying in our bed at night, not long before this week. We simply do not feel like Cradle can provide for our future, and in fact hinders it. Among other reasons, is a lot of work for relatively low pay. People are getting sick of it. They're saying, you can't squeeze an onion any more than you have, pal. The stress is quite high, I must say. We haven't felt for a while like this band actually prioritizes caring about members. It was been years of unprofessional behavior for people above us that led to our decision. And then there was something, he was going to do a song with Ed Sheeran or something. And I think this guitar player, what he's done here is he said, you can't use any of my shit no more. Anything I wrote, I don't want. Let's see. I have also asked all compositions of mine removed from upcoming releases, including Ed Sheeran collab. This song feels like foolish clown antics for me at this point anyways. First it was charity single for kids, then for profit single, then on next album, and now who knows? I just do not want to be involved anymore. No disrespect to Ed Sheeran. And meanwhile, so many brilliantly internet brains trying to speculate on personal affairs between me and Zoe. Just stop this, please. We are trying to start a new chapter. And I am going to finish this tour strong. Now he's not, right? This is what he posted. And then little Dani was over there going,
what did he just post on the internet? Oh, this guy. We're getting rid of him now.
What does his wife say? Stranger Fedorov. A strange turn of events has manifested out here on tour for Cradle of Filth in South America. Our keyboardist, back singer Zoe Smirda, has chosen to leave the band mid-tour. Dani's responding everywhere, but I wanted to see if Zoe, because she was the one that kicked this whole banana off. She's the one that said, yeah, I'm out of here. And, you know, can your husband stay in the band? Merrick and Zoe got married in January in her hometown, of Tucson, Arizona. Now, they didn't add a year to that. In January of this year, they were married. If she leaves that band, you're leaving it too, Ashok. Now, I know you got damn good reason and all that, but you ain't going to stick around. You know, you're both going. She told you. She says, we're getting out of here. I've had enough of Dani. I can't take another minute of it. Oh, Smyrna's been the guitar player since 2014. All right, guys, let's get on to something else here. Look at this guy. That's Ashok. I did see an image of him where he had the pins in. This is the pinhead kind of makeup. And maybe they were asked to remove them. Can't do it. That's a copyright, bud. He says, but I've got a beard. We've got a kind of a handlebar mustache beard thing going on. And a splash of a soul patch. I mean, Hellraiser didn't have that. Sebastain, real quick, guys. He's talk about, we're going to whip through this. We're going to get to Scott Travis and then into your comments. It'll be a lighter one this time. I think I'm getting on it a little too early, but I think that you guys can handle that and get that figured out. And it goes up Saturday, so Saturday to Thursday is pretty good time to get your comments in. Or it could very well be that someone say, yeah, I didn't want to put a comment this week. How do you like that? And that's fine as well. Let's get into Sebastain Bach. He's standing there going,
And what you need to understand is...
We facing the opposite way. Can I get a... So anyways, there's this fella online, and Sebastain Bach, he's getting irritated with him, I believe. Quickly, Sebastain Bach blasts vocal experts who criticize his live performance. You have no clue what the hell it is that I do. And he's not wrong. Unless they've shared the stage and successes, right? In a recent interview with Australia's Spotlight Report, former Skid Row frontman Sebastain Bach unleashed a hilarious no-holds-barred rant over self-proclaimed vocal experts and vocal instructors on YouTube who have criticized his live performance as captured in various videos on the platform. And he said, YouTube is so hilarious. I see videos of guys that call themselves vocal experts or vocal instructors or whatever. And these idiots watch a video of me on stage like at Wembley Stadium, running around with no shirt on in 100-degree weather. And I'll do a note in my concert footage, and they'll sit in their chair and go, sitting there in the chair, watching it on YouTube, thinking that's the same fucking thing as me running around on stage in the summertime. He's talking about me right now. I am literally, I'll just say it, guys, I'm kind of a frumpy fellow, and I'm sitting here in a chair, and I've done that before where we listen to him sing, and we have our own opinions on it. Haven't we done that?
I'm just sitting in the chair watching it on YouTube.
That's literally what I'm doing. And thank God I didn't pick up a clip of Sebastain Bach singing right now to play in this episode, because that would even be worse for me.
And I don't get to sit down and watch and go, see, I can do that.
Now, where's the fella? All right, they're going to leave names out of this. I'm going to tell you the guy's name is something Tamplin. Ken Tamplin is who I think he was going after. Addressing his critics directly, Sebastain continued, you can't do shit. And another thing is, you don't just do one note of the song. The challenge is to sing the whole song, I Remember You. And then at the end, there's a scream, and you better be ready for that. So spare me sitting there like this going, oh, I see, I can do that. No, you have no clue what the hell it is that I do. Sing the whole fucking song. Then hit the scream at the end. Try and do that. In 100-degree weather with your shirt off and just your leather pants on. And no sleep. Jet lag even. I mean, all those factors do go into play. You know, if he's out there belting out I Remember You, screaming it from the top of his tits, I mean, just like, oh my God. You do got to figure the fact that he flew to London. He, Laptop's going crazy right now. But he got no sleep. He flew to somewhere. 100-degree heat, all of this. He says, it just makes me laugh. It's just so funny that people think that they know how to get on stage and rock for an hour and a half or 2 hours. It's a dying art. You can't sit in your living room in your air conditioning watching it on YouTube, but that's how I watch most of my concerts. Since I've gotten more, like I don't want to go outside anywhere. What do you call that? Agoraphobic? Or is that arachnophobia? There's spiders. You can't sit and watch it on YouTube thinking you have a fucking clue what it is to get up on a stage and do that every single night. It's not physically or mentally easy to do. There are so many of these so-called vocal experts that I could kick them right in the balls. Jesus. Don't be kicking anyone in the... That's how they make children. You get kicked too hard there. I'm not saying this to you. You're not? I'm saying this to all the experts in their basement, in their air conditioning. It's really hilarious. Well, referencing Journey, Arnie Panetta. Yeah. Oh, what was he thinking about last night? Guys, we're moving on to Scott Travis right after this. He says what he's thinking about last night.
I was thinking about this last night. My job is to be as excited as I can be at the same time as being as calm as I can. How the fuck is that possible? Because if I'm too excited, I suck. I have to remember what I'm doing because when I look at Arnell, he's just caught up in the crowd. He's in front of 100,000 people and he's in the pit. And he's like, look at this shit. He's not making a record. He's jumping in the pit with the security guards. I don't know what that means. When you're making a record, I'll explain it. You're standing in an air-conditioned room and you can try it as many times as you feel like it and get it perfect. That is not what a rock concert is. A rock concert is like going to battle. Well, to me, I don't know what it's like, but I feel like it's a fight. It's like a fucking boxing match up there.
Oh, and here he is. Is this on the official Sebastain Bach page? Spotlight report. Let's just get a little splash of him yelling at someone, saying something. And we won't see that, guys. We will not see... Oh, look at that. Sebastain Bach, me, which is just lovely to see, and Brent Hinds. I mean, I don't want to hear the song.
Watch a video of me on stage, like at Wembley Stadium, running around with no shirt on in 100-degree weathers, and I'll do a note,
100-degree weathers,
like concert footage, and they'll sit in their chair and go like sitting in their chair, watching it on YouTube, thinking that that's the same fucking thing as me running around on stage in the summertime, and I don't get to sit down and watch and go, see, I can do that. You can't do shit. And another thing is, you don't just do one note of the song. The challenge is to sing the whole song, I Remember You, and then at the end there's a scream.
Woke up to the sound of pouring rain. When whispers and I think of you. All the he said to sing the whole thing and get to the note. I can't sing that last note, but
And you better be ready for that. So spare me sitting there like this going, oh, see, I can do that. No, you have no clue what the hell it is that I do.
Is that the album cover for his album behind him?
Then hit the scream at the end. in 100-degree weather,
Shirtless.
on no sleep, jet lagged.
I mean, I don't think anyone could say it any better than him. I really don't think he could say it any better than what I've done and then what he's repeated. Let's get on to Scott Travis really quick. He's going to explain to us why those albums that Ripper Owens was on are not available on the streaming service. So this should be very quick. This is a man of few words. He rocks the drums. Scott Travis, he's the painkiller. Story we're not going to be talking about is Rob Halford talking about Turbo Lover. It's coming up on some other anniversary, 70 years or something, and he was just saying that there was a time for Turbo. We won't be talking about that. Scott Travis on the Tim Ripper Owens era Judas Priest albums not being available on streaming services. It's probably a delicate situation, I'm thinking. Well, when he says probably, then that tells me that he doesn't know what's going on with it. In a new interview with Rock of Nations with David Kinchin and Shane McKernan. Now, Shane, we talked about that name. You know, Shane's a great one, but the McKernan part is hard to say. But Judas Priest drummer Scott Travis was asked why the two studio albums singer Tim Ripper Owens recorded with Judas Priest, 1997's Jugulator and 2001's Demolition, are not available on the major streaming services. Travis replied as transcribed, I think the record label went out of business. And with singer Rob Halford being back in the band, it's kind of probably a delicate situation as far as, hey, we want to re-release these records. But I'm not even sure who owns the rights to them, to be honest. Like I said, because the record label went out of business, but we're in a different moment. Well, that's true, right? I mean, what do you do if a record company that owns the rights to two albums goes out of business? Wouldn't that just turn the rights over to the... Oh, here comes Scotty. Rob is the singer of Judas Priest and was obviously early on and is a legend in his own right. But there were some good songs during the Ripper years. Definitely some good songs in there. And he was on them too, right? But to re-release the whole records, I don't know. Back in March 2024, former Judas Priest guitarist Curtis KK KK's Priest guitarist KK the Ken Man Downing was asked by Rob Rush of Long Island's 94.3 The Shock to take a bite out of you. With our hard rock tunes, we take a bite out of your radio. About the absence from the streaming platform of the Priest albums that Owens was on. Downing said, yeah, well, it's a little bit of a mystery, really. Obviously, I no longer have any control over those records, but I don't think that it's a label thing, because labels always like to sell the records, don't they? And obviously, myself and Ripper were still very proud of everything that we've done as a part of our history and legacy. And we very much like to see those records out there in stores once more. So hopefully, we'll see that come to fruition. But the good news is that this band, KK's Priest, will be out there playing those songs. So everyone is welcome to come down and experience those magical times that we now refer to as the Ripper era or Ripper years. And yeah, so everyone can enjoy those songs again in live format, which in a lot of ways is even better. But let's hope the records will appear at some point. All right, I think that's enough of that, guys. Is this going to be a real short episode? I feel like it is this time around. I've just been kind of out of it and not really doing anything. You know what I've been doing? Sitting in my backyard. No phone, no nothing, just sitting out there and staring. And you just look around and you say, why am I 50-something years old and not looking around at these beautiful trees and shit? I've had a backyard, it's like, now I'm going, that's all I want to do is sit out there. Just feel the breeze. It's wonderfully peaceful. Your mind just empties when you're just sitting there looking around through the trees and whatnot, the squirrels and the birds and the bees, dragonflies. Get into your comments. It's the two of you. Proud and happy to have you. Two long timers here. I know Johnny B and all of them, they're out doing something or this, that, or the other thing. I do not want you to have it to be a job, so I understand. But I also too apologize if it's a little too early. Let's get into it with Miss Althea, and then Mike. My chair just took a total dump on me. Come on, baby. There we go. I mean, it literally just went like, this could be, Michael, listen to me. This could be the episode that's the Razzie. I'm feeling like this is it. This is the one. This is the one to be seen by the Raspberry Awards. Miss Althea coming in, Dumbstruck Fool says, Hagar and David Lee Roth. Okay, now Hagar had made David Lee Roth said something about the song that was written by Sammy Hagar about Eddie, and they thought there was going to be a rift. She says, Diamond Dave is reaching. I think he's been losing his marbles for quite some time now, and I personally don't believe that Eddie's, may he rest in peace, ghost confided in him about throwing Sammy a whack song. If anything, Sammy has got a leg up because he's on the good side with the aliens. His statement of, I can't believe social media is trying to make something out of this, was all that needed to be said. Yeah, that's true, isn't it? Like there aren't more pressing issues to talk about. Oh, and I think Eric Carr's ghost has asked me to marry him at least 100 times over the past 34 years. And you're probably right about that. Wouldn't that be wonderful if he's just fourth dimensionally speaking? Now we're just talking about vibration. Everything in your existence that you see right now is frequency, vibration, resonance, quantum. We are in a 3D reality. So once you leave that physical form, you don't just evaporate, you just simply move from that physical material form into the fourth dimension that is more fluid, or if that makes any sense. I don't know if it does. And I don't even know if I'm thinking it properly. But all I'm saying is Ozzy and all of them are just right there. They're just in form we cannot see with the human eye. And so he has asked you to get married to him 100 times. And guess what? The good news is you're going to end up getting married to him. You're going to love it. It's going to be great. Miss Althea on Ace. Totally with him on declining the Vegas event. And I also agree on the theory that perhaps tickets are not selling as well as expected. And that is the only reason he was approached. Oh, well. Maybe Peter will accept. Yeah, do they throw it out to him too? Doesn't he have a new album project to plug? Yeah, he was always going with it. Peter Criss always stayed busy. You just was like, he put another one out. That's like him doing songs from the 1930s or something. One thing I was going to tell you about is I saw this guy, and he's a guitar guy, but I watched this really good video. It's about Gene Simmons. And it is from about 2 years ago, but his name's Six String TV. I think that's what it is. And I think he's a guy he strikes me as New Zealand or Australian or something. But he does this video, you can search it out, about Gene Simmons and his Moneybag website. And it's pretty damn good because it's like shop Gene Simmons moneybag.com or something. But he's selling all this merchandise, cheap merchandise, and it's literally like, when you open this box of shoes, they may smell like glue. So go Six String TV and the Gene Simmons. He's just sitting there chatting about it, but he's enjoyable enough. Most of his content's about guitar stuff. Miss Althea comes in on Bruce Dickinson, no comment. Miss Althea on Phil Campbell, no comment. Ozzy, BBC documentary. I agree that the original air date was too soon following Ozzy's passing, and good on them for honoring the family's wishes. Yes. Yeah, you don't want that popping off the day after he passes, and it's like, it's just bad timing, but now you can get away from it a ways. Miss Althea says, to echo Don Tone's sentiment on behalf of the Jive Talkin comments, big 4, let's continue to, well, it's a big 2 this time, to grow this community. The experience is not just limited to these weekly Jive Talkin episodes. I agree. Keeping it bitchy. Here you go, Miss Althea. I don't have my chapstick. I got a birthday thing I got to do tomorrow. I just looked down. It's at 8:28. That's at 29. I have just been spaced out, man. I have not done anything. Just my video stuff that I love to do. But all I want to do is just sit and do nothing. And it's so wonderful. I mean, just sit and do absolutely no phones, no TV, no nothing. Mike the 69 and Buchanan boy, the 69 Buchanan boy. He's going to finish this sucker up, and we're calling it a do on this episode. A lot of kind of downer stuff. You know, this episode really was kind of a Jerry Springer type episode, wouldn't you say? You got people quitting bands, and this guy mad at this singer. And Mike Buchanan says, I'm part of a club now. Runs around looking for someone to high five. Woohoo! On this week's movies that are bad, but we love them anyways, An American Werewolf in Paris. 1997. What better way than to review The Love Feast than Hallmark style? Yeah, that had someone else in it. You're going to tell me who they are, but I remember it was like a whole new cast. So, love can be a beast, but in Paris, even monsters can find romance. Paris is for lovers, and apparently werewolves. In this heartwarming monster meets mistress piece, Andy, Tom Everett Scott, a goofy but lovable American tourist, isn't just searching for thrills, he's searching for the one. And wouldn't you know it, he finds her standing on a bridge, ready to leap into destiny. Her name is Seraphine Julie Delpy. She's smart, she's beautiful, and she just happens to turn into a ravenous wolf under the full moon. Nobody's perfect. What follows is a whirlwind romance filled with candlelit dinners until somebody accidentally eats the waiter. Moonlit strolls through the streets of Paris. Keep an eye out for claws. And a heartfelt lesson about love, trust, and managing your inner beast. Sure, Andy might not understand her condition at first, but love means embracing every part of someone. Even the part that occasionally growls and tears through your wardrobe. Yes, there are monsters, mayhem, and questionable 90s CGI fur, but don't be fooled. This is really a story about two people who discover that when it comes to romance, sometimes you just have to take a leap of faith. And maybe a leap off the Eiffel Tower too. Final verdict, a fuzzy fairy tale of fangs and feelings. An American Werewolf in Paris proves the true love can survive anything, even a full moon. Star rating, 5 out of 5 heart-shaped croissants, served with a side of silver bullets, just in case. Grab your favorite beverage, sit in your favorite chair, pop some popcorn, and press play on American Werewolf in Paris. And make sure to hold your loved one close. Another brilliant one. Brilliantly executed by me. Brilliantly written by you. I mean, if you don't have top score over there on Rotten Tomatoes, then someone's not doing their jobs over there. Mike Buchanan here on Sammy Hagar. He says, Sammy got his writing orders from the beyond. This, I believe. Encore, thank you, good night is a solid rockin' tune. David Lee Roth, not sure what he's rambling on and on about. I did a video called, I love the thumbnail that I used, because it's him in checking his watch, his fake watch on stage, and it says, unbelievable. You guys have seen this. I didn't even look to see if there's 15 views on it or 1,000. I don't know. But I love the way I set that thumbnail up because it says unbelievable, but it goes right around his head. And I just thought that was brilliant. Mike Buchanan on Ace. I know the feeling. I've no desire to go to a Kiss event. And while I'm saying it, I have no desire to really go to Vegas right now. The only thing that might get me to go there is the Wizard of Oz being shown at the Sphere. I would love to see that. But that was my interjection. I'd love to see that. But here's Mike coming back at us. But at $139 a ticket plus airfare plus hotel, it would be the most expensive movie I will ever see. Damn! Yeah, you don't think about it all until you got to fly there, you get there, and do all that. You know, you bet the mortgage on the, you bet your entire mortgage on down there in Vegas. I knew a guy that did that. He would go every single weekend to Las Vegas, and then finally he sold the house and moved to Vegas. And I was like, well, that's something, right? Is Daddy gonna get us a house? He sold the house, and we're en route to Vegas, but is he going to say, well, we're going to stop over in Mesquite for a little while? You know, don't worry, we'll get a mansion by the end of this day. Right now we got about 150, but by the end of this day we'll have about 200 million. You're like, Daddy, don't do it. It's why Mama left. And how does he end up with the kids? If you got a gambling situation like that, you got to go with Mom. She must have been worse. Mike Buchanan on Bruce Dickinson. What was wrong with Nico? He had a stroke, bud. He's a fantastic drummer. I'm sure the new guy's just as good, but saying he brings stability, that implies that Nico was causing issues. Oh, that's what, okay. That's what I'm saying. When Bruce saying that, he's kind of coming out, he's being snarky. He's trying to snark one off and go, oh, this guy keeps good timing. He wants to tinge. Everyone likes to do that, don't you? You like to say, God, I'm going to say something right now that's just going to be just like a jab in their heart. As soon as you catch yourself doing that, you say, I'm not going to say things that set off a vibration in motion that is negative. I want to set off vibrations in motion that are positive. You naturally flow that way. The more positive output you can say and do, the higher your vibration. The more things come into alignment. The more things start to say, let this universe start to flow in your favor. And I know, I used to love to get a little zap in there. But you know it when you hurt someone's feelings, right? And you go, I hurt, you get that little pang of pleasure or whatever from zipping them, but afterwards you feel worse. You go, oh my God, why did I do that? Now you could have went up to that person and said something wonderful. And they're lit up all day. And then they say something wonderful. It's like dominoes. I apologize. And there was a Captain Spaulding in my TikTok live the other day. Why does it say, R.I.P. Captain Spaulding, I will pour one out for your lost shirt? I was going to say, yeah, you got to pour it for my shirt that I lost. Because I think Sid Haig's been gone for a long time. Mike Buchanan on Ozzy. In time, it will be nice to be able to see that documentary. Good on them for waiting to show it. Yes, yes. It is a very nice thing. I'm going to have a sip of this, and then we're going to get into Jive Talkin Jokes of the Week, and we're going to call her a day on this fine podcast. Thank you. Tell a friend, tell a family, tell your foes. Tell them to come in here and hang out, and let's make love through heavy metal music and shared story. It's what we're doing. Guys, it's what we're doing. It's making love to each other through song and story and news and thoughts. Thoughtful thoughts. And now it's time for the Jive Talkin' Jokes of the Week, provided by one Mike Buchanan, the 69 man. Knock, knock. Who's there? Mikey. Mikey who? My key is stuck in the keyhole. Let me in. I thought that was going to get kinky. A genie granted my one wish. I wished to be happy. Now I live with 6 dwarves and work in a mine. Oh, you weren't specific enough. I've decided to make an elite army of babies. I'm going to call them the infantry. My teacher always said, don't worry about correct spelling because we have autocorrect. And for that, I'm infernally grapefruit. So you had technologies back then, your teacher always told you don't worry about spelling it right because you got autocorrect. And that's true. What will it ever matter? If you can simply just say the words or do the thing. How many clickbait articles does it take to screw in a light bulb? The answer will shock you. And finally, I hear that Elvis Costello is touring with ABBA next year. It's the ABBA and Costello Who's on First tour. Well, you got to be real old to know that joke. Hashtag get Shane to 100K. Hashtag Liquid Death sponsorship. And hashtag Shane a Razzie. This might be it, Mike. This might be the one. Get out there and move in positive ways. Move in the upwards motion. Move where, if your nervous system, I've said before, is sitting at a 0, and you do things that you're going like this. But if you do things that elate you and keep you happy and keep you inspired, you move like this. And when you move like this, you move into a whole different world. Promise you that. Gonna get out of here. I'm going to make this solemn vow to you guys right now. The next episode will be good. It will be a damn good one. And you will say, he did not disappoint. That will be next week. All right? But for now, we got to just deal with this. I mean, one thing that'll kick you off in a bad way is just running out of tunes. I'm sick of all of these. I've done 194 episodes now. Hey baby, how you doing tonight? Did you listen to Shane? Did it sound alright? Yes, I listened, it was really good. I did it in the bathtub like you know I should. Got my bubbles in my scrub tub, buddy, and I got in the tub and I listened to my friend Shane Jive Talkin with a bubble bath, candles and baby lotions. Coconut and bottled baby oil, and listen to Shane. Oh, I wanna listen to Shane.